Here we are at the entrance of this beautiful 47,000 square foot high-tech, high-touch facility which serves as a classroom to students of Polk State College and to employees of businesses from throughout Polk County, the state, the region, and ultimately the nation. Today we're filming a special edition of the Commissioner's Report at Polk State College's Advanced Technology Center at Clear Springs. First up will be Commissioner Melony Bell, and later we'll be joined by Commissioner George Lindsey. Let's catch up with Commissioner Bell. Follow me. Welcome to the show, Commissioner, and congratulations on your recent re-election to the Board of County Commissioners.
Well, what an easy slide in there. I've been campaigning, people that don't realize that, for about 9 months. And to be able to think on the deadline, 12 o'clock on Friday, and have no opposition was certainly a surprise to me, but a fun surprise, and excited and just honored that that the people re-elected me without opposition.
You know, as a county commissioner, you represent all the citizens and the communities in Polk County. However, your district covers the southern part of the county, and today we're going to focus on two major projects. The CSX Central Florida Intermodal Logistics Center in Winter Haven with its entrance on State Road 60, and then right down the road, of course, this beautiful Polk State College's Clear Springs Advanced Technology Center with its entrance also on State Road 60. Let's begin with the CSX project. You recently joined a delegation of community and business leaders, and you made a trip up to Fairborn, Georgia. The trip was sponsored by the Central Florida Development Council so that you could see another logistics center. What'd you get from that trip, Commissioner?
What a awesome trip it was that we were able to go out there. We took a group of business leaders throughout the community to go out and see for our own eyes what a logistics center does for a community. And it surprised me because we went through CSX, and then we also went out into the community and went to the warehouses, and we got to talk to the locals there. And the impact, the economic impact that it has had on that community there was just unbelievable. I would have never thought that. And they kept telling me there that Winter Haven, Bartow, is going to be triple of what they have received so far. So what an education. I didn't realize of the logistics that goes into that. While we were there, we got to go through the CSX training field to safety is first with them. So it was very interesting to see that and then go out into the community.
You know, the company bought 318 acres in Winter Haven, and they have an opportunity to develop with some partners the surrounding 932 acres. I think they're employing like 75 folks, CSX is. What are some of the impacts, short-term and long-term, on the project? Well,
short-term is that we have the tax base now of CSX that's sitting there, beautiful facility if you've ever seen it. The long-term impacts is going to be jobs. We're hoping that, in maybe 2 or 3 years that we will have over 8,000 jobs. Now, this is not going to be on CSX property. It's going to be the outbuild of it, of warehouses. And when I talk about warehouses, the trains coming in with equipment on there and them taking it off, and hopefully it's going to be a high-tech corridor there that they will be able to take, hire people for not only just logistics of where it goes, but also putting pieces together, parts together to go out and maybe go to the stores or even go out into the Tampa Bay, out to the port.
You know, it's our understanding that the city of Winter Haven is future land used about 1,000 acres of business park area around the CSX Center, including 500 acres of Bobby Stokes land. So as you said, it's going to be, spread out and going to have a big impact on all of Polk County.
It is, and The whole thing we heard while we're there was education, education. Do we have the workforce to employ these people? Well, it just so happens that CSX has partnered with a high school, local high school, Fort Meade High School, on the logistics, and they have they're gone in and taken these certain students and have trained them, and now they're starting another class of training to make sure that we have the workforce or when these jobs do happen. It was all about economic development, education, and the arts, and I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I think the company has hired Gem Realty of Chicago, who are partnering with CB Richard Ellis in Orlando to come in and try to move some of that property. So we're real excited about that. And then, of course, right down the road from CSX is the beautiful facility that we're in, Polk State College's Clear Springs Advanced Technology Center. This is a great opportunity for Polk County as well, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely, and we're so fortunate to have philanthropists that lives in our community, Stan Phelps, that saw a vision years ago that donated this piece of property along with $12 million to have it built. Huge number. And if you're here and never been here, you need to ride by, stop in, visit it. It's all been given on donations of, private donations, not one bit of tax dollars that went into this.
So Stan Phelps gave $12 million and 20 acres. Didn't the Board of County Commissioners make a contribution for this project?
For the infrastructure.
Yes, ma'am.
For the roads to be built in and out of here. There's actually 20 acres that we're sitting on right now.
I think that was $2.5 million that the Board of County Commissioners donated to the college here. You know that you said, Commissioner, that so much has been donated here. Polk State College's director of the corporate college, Rob Clancy, envisioned this state-of-the-art building and that it would be open to distance learners as well as the young people from our county and beyond. And to make that happen, he realized that he had to have this corporate support. And I'm going to take a minute, if the viewers don't mind, and just read some of the names of the corporations that contributed. $2 million was contributed by Rockwell Automation, Andress & Hauser, Trinova, and AMJ. And then we had some more money that was donated from Mosaic Corporation, Center State Bank, Citizens Bank and Trust, Curry Controls, Catrali Citrus, DSM Technology, Fur and Wegman, the Kincart family, Madrid Engineering Group, Tampa Electric, the Ruthvens, Sofidel, Universal Building Products, and of course the Lakeland Businessmen's Club that was headed, I believe, by Doug Wimmerly made. And as you visit throughout this beautiful campus, you see their names on the varying classrooms. So they didn't have to spend any money, I don't think, at all, public money. Isn't that your understanding?
No public money on the building. And the impact that it's going to have on the surrounding areas is going to be unbelievable. They're going to bring in over 7,000 people that will actually go through the schooling here. So you can imagine, and that's not 7,000 just of Polk County people, it's going to be 7,000 throughout the whole United States that will be coming in, buying gas, staying at restaurants, staying at hotels to get their training. So what a positive impact. And you just spoke about Mosaic, and Mosaic is such a wonderful company to our area, and they've donated the funds to have an auditorium here.
Oh, beautiful, yes ma'am.
I've
seen that.
So I think the community needs to take part in that, use it as needed, and Polk State certainly has opened their doors for that.
Yes, ma'am. I know that companies from throughout Polk County and as you said, from beyond, are going to be coming here for classes, and they've built this building so that it's very flexible. They have garage doors, and so they can bring heavy equipment in from time to time and change out equipment, so it's going to be state-of-the-art. They're going to have some stuff called programmable logic control in here from the varying businesses, so it's going to be a very flexible facility here, so we're very excited.
Right, and I've already met people that's taken advantage of this. Their companies, they've sent them here, Yana Industries, they've sent them here to get their certifications, and so to have a local college here that's opening their doors to industry for them to benefit that is just, remarkable to be able to bring that in.
And this campus sits on 18,000 acres of Clear Springs Land Company. And thank goodness for entrepreneurs and philanthropists, as you said, Stan Phelps, came forward with that vision along with Dr. Eileen Holden and the corporate companies that we mentioned to make this thing a reality. And it's here. And we talked about CSX and economic development, but there's a piece of community development work that needs to be done, and it's a project that folks says will never happen, but you never say never. And could you tell us about a potential new signal coming in on State Road 60, a safety thing?
It's a safety issue. It's right down the road from us there at Alturas at Highway 60 and Alturas Road. The residents there have been working on obtaining a traffic light there for over 20 years because of safe issues, and I've held several town hall meetings out there, and the cry was, please get us a traffic light. So as soon as I actually took office, I went out and talked to our friends with Department of Transportation, had them do a traffic study, and it warrants a traffic light. So that has been in the works. We actually had nothing was done, so we had another town hall meeting, brought the folks out from DOT to explain why, and it was all done. It had been to a contractor in the contractor's hands. As you know, government doesn't work real fast, it's slow, and the contractor had actually until October 1st to have it completed. And I'm not sure if you've been by there, but they're putting in turning lanes, yes, from the right and into the left, in and out of there, so it's exciting. But when you hear a family say, my child attends Bartow High School, but I can't allow them to turn out on Highway 60 because of so many traffic fatalities there, they have to turn around and go all the way back through Homeland and down 17. It hits you in the heart. If you have children of your own, a safety issue, safety first. So I've worked very hard for the residents here in Polk County and the residents there in Alturas to obtain them.
And as you did on the Ernest Smith Boulevard, let's move a little bit closer to Bartow. We had the first phase recently completed. How are we going to finish this thing, and when might we finish the ultimate direction of Ernest Smith Boulevard?
That's more exciting news also. After this legislative session that we just finished, our delegation decided to give us funding for that it's a 5-year project. However, they've hurried it up, and we're going to get funding, and we're going to extend the Ernest Smith Boulevard from Highway 17. It will come across over to Highway 60 so that the CSX trucks will be able to come out of CSX onto 60, get on the extended highway, go all the way over to 98, go a little bit, and they'll be able to hit the Polk Parkway there.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioner, for giving us an update on all the projects along State Road 60 that are in the works, coming to fruition. Exciting days ahead.
It is exciting days, and like I've said in the beginning, I was excited and honored to be elected to this position, and there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes, ma'am. Well, congratulations again, and please stay tuned, as we'll soon be joined by Commissioner George Lindsey, who's going to be talking about his health and, more importantly, about the health of Polk County citizens. Thank you.
And now, another fact of Congress. Quick, what year did women in America get the vote? If you said 1920, give yourself an A+. That's hard to believe in today's world. Now, what year was the first woman elected to Congress? This may be hard to believe too, but it was before 1920. 1916 to be exact. Her name was Jeanette Rankin, and she was elected to the House of Representatives from the state of Montana. Like many pioneers, she opened the door for women all across America to seek and win office in Washington. Although women make up slightly over 50% of the U.S. population today, only 15% of the members of Congress are women. What do you think those numbers will be when your generation is voting? And that's another fact of Congress.
60% of high school seniors don't know the purpose of the Declaration of Independence, even though the purpose is right in the title. While some students think civics is dry and boring, often it's not taught at all.
I'm Justice Sandra Day O'Connor.
And I'm Congressman Lee Hamilton.
Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, understood that each generation must learn how to participate in our democracy.
We must provide engaging civic education to our children
and to our grandchildren.
Visit iCivics.org and centeroncongress.org.
Welcome back to the Commissioner's Report, where we are now joined by Commissioner George Lindsey and with Joy Johnson, who's the Director of Indigent Health Services for Polk County. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Today we're going to be delving into the heart, a physical challenge that Commissioner Lindsey recently experienced, and then also his strong desire to have our viewers and all the residents in Polk County lead and make healthy lifestyle choices. You know, back on April 1, Commissioner, you had an experience that changed your life. Could you please relate to us what happened?
Jim, good morning. It was a life-changing experience, and as you know, it's a custom for the County Commission to send a delegation to Washington, D.C. each spring. And the contingent is the county manager, the county attorney, the chairman, and the vice chair. Well, I was privileged to go this year as vice chair, and we had quite an agenda meeting with our delegation or their staff, because senators and congressmen's schedules are often very complicated. But also had a chance to talk to some of the agencies about programs and grants that are available to Polk County. So it's just show the flag and let them know, you know, we're paying attention down here. We want more than our share.
Yes, sir.
Well, about 2:30 a.m., I woke up in my hotel room with excruciating chest pain, pain radiating across my shoulders. My left pinky finger was a little numb and tingly, and I said, these are not good signs. So I got my iPad out and looked up, you know, symptoms of stroke and, you know, the paranoia that we go through. And sure enough, all three of those were 3 of the 10 most common signals of some cardiac issue. So had I been home back in Lakeland,
yes, sir,
I would have either called 911, which is a smart thing to do wherever you are, or if I were home, I would have gotten somebody to take me to the emergency room. But I'm 1,000 miles away in a strange town. I don't know anybody, and typical male ego, this will pass. Well, I managed to get a little more sleep the rest of the night. Met my colleagues in the morning, didn't say anything to them. Went to our first few meetings, and I wasn't feeling well, and County Manager Freeman said later that he knew something was wrong because I kept my mouth shut most of the time in our first few meetings. But in our second meeting, I felt very nauseous, and I told myself, okay, that's signal number 4. I don't need to see all 10 signals to get the message. So we get in the taxi to go to our next meeting, and I told the group, you guys go home on to the next meeting. I'm going to go back to the hotel and lay down. Well, as soon as they were out of the car, I told the driver, take me to ER, which he did. And one of the folks we were visiting with suggested we go to George Washington University, which is a class facility.
Yes, sir.
As you may recall, that's where they took President Reagan when he was shot. I didn't know that then, but that's where we wound up. Walked into the lobby of the ER, got out of the cab, walked into the lobby, and told the young lady, I said, I don't want to overreact, but I think I'm having a heart attack. Well, her eyes got about as big as saucers and said, sit down. And that was my quick ticket to the exam room in the ER, and the nurses came in and, you know, stripped down to the waist and put on all the probes and things that they do and whatnot, and the machines are buzzing. And honestly, I didn't feel bad, but I didn't feel chipper. Doctor came in a little while later, read the charts, and told me, said, something's certainly going on. We need to go right now upstairs to the heart catheterization lab, ER room, operating room. And I said, well, I'm supposed to fly back to Florida tomorrow. And he said, well, you ain't flying nowhere tomorrow. So They wheeled me upstairs right into the operating room, or that lab room, and there's a dye they inject, and they show you all the things that are going on, and they give you that, not deep sleep, kind of a woozy comfort sleep. Before then, he allowed me to make a phone call, and I called my wife and let her know what was going on, and I texted my colleagues, and I'm in George Washington ER, headed to heart cath, stand by. Learned later that Freeman and company were a little taken aback by
Yeah,
my
they
message.
would be, yes.
But the doc did their thing. They went through the process and determined that I needed 2 stents. And so while they were there, they went ahead and installed the stents. And I have to say that the staff and of George Washington University was excellent in every occasion. It's a teaching hospital, of course, and you got students and doctors coming and going all the time, but that's the process of a teaching hospital, and they did a great job. So I stayed over Thursday, and the rest of the team came back Thursday, and I came back Friday, and I felt fine. But it was a lesson I wanted to share, because we can't ignore our bodies. When our bodies are trying to tell us something, we need to be cognizant of it. And honestly, people say, well, they're shocked that happened to me. I'm tall and relatively thin and apparently healthy, but my lifestyle and my eating habits were not friendly to my cardiovascular system. So changed my eating habits, changed my exercise habits. I now walk Lake Hollingsworth 3 or 4 times a week. I told someone that they need to sell their stock in McDonald's, because I won't be going through the driving as often as I.
That's funny.
But in our hustle bustle, I've learned that I can do a pretty healthy breakfast, and I can do a pretty healthy dinner, because you got more time to plan those in anticipation. But my schedule and not unlike the rest of us, we just get so busy at lunch. Either we skip it, or we grab a burger, or that's the meal that's the hardest and the most difficult to plan around and to accommodate a healthy lifestyle. I also cut out the meal between dinner and bedtime, the stack of Oreos and the gallon of milk. So I lost almost 10 or 12 pounds in the last.
Wow, fantastic. So that's great.
But the message is, take care of yourself, listen to your bodies. There's help out there, whether you're a private physician or the various clinics that are available throughout the county. So it's time to take, only you are in charge of your health. It's exclusively your responsibility, and it's your obligation to your family, your colleagues in your work, your colleagues with your elected position, your colleagues that in whatever your walk of life is, because they depend on you and you depend on them. So it's important that you make those healthy choices in lifestyle and diet, because we're part of a team, and we need everybody on the team.
And so this wake-up call, if we'll name it that, you've become an advocate for healthy lifestyle choices for everyone now, right?
Well, yes. Yeah. Just to share my story, it's just a little slice of life. We all have those episodes in our life in one thing. I'm not, don't want to draw undue attention to myself, but I wanted to share the story that the other message that I have not shared as openly was that I was on a cholesterol medication to help prevent heart issues. And candidly, and again, the male ego, I didn't take it as regularly as I should, as prescribed. And when the prescription ran out, I got busy and I didn't get it renewed. Well, darn, if the doctor's going to give you a medication, it's for a reason.
Yes, sir.
So take your meds on time and don't let them run out, and stay in touch with your pharmacist and put them on automatic refill, and make sure if you have questions, consult your physician. If you're thinking it's not doing what it needs to do, then, you know, the male ego is that we want instant gratification. We want to see a cause and effect. And taking that pill every day, I didn't feel any different, I didn't do any different. And so I'm thinking, if you got a headache, take a pill, it goes away, cause and effect. But preventative medicine doesn't have that immediacy that is designed to. So pay attention to symptoms, and if you're on medication, take them in a timely manner. If you need help, there's help available.
Well, you and I and the other folks in the county administration building and throughout our family of employees, we have access to medical care. But it's our understanding that Polk County residents have access to medical care. And that's why we're now going to be joined by Joy Johnson, the Director of Indigent Health Services, who are going to explain how does the public access healthcare services in Polk County. Joy?
Thanks, Jim. And in fact, what's great about Polk County is that we have a half-cent healthcare sales tax that funds healthcare services to low-income people in Polk County who don't have health insurance or who have no other healthcare options available to them. And so what I would recommend is that they would call our hotline, our appointment hotline, at 534-5387, and our team will schedule an appointment for them to come in to bring certain documentation, and we would determine whether they're eligible for the Polk Healthcare Plan. And the Polk Healthcare Plan is a local-run, locally administered healthcare program. It's not regulated by the state or the federal government. And what it offers is access to primary care services, access to a specialist, diagnostics, low-cost prescriptions, hospital services. And what we would do is, if the person is eligible for this program, we would schedule an appointment for them with their primary care doctor before they leave our offices. And they would have an option of providers to choose from, because we have hundreds of providers all over Polk County who participate in the Polk Healthcare Plan. And if they're not eligible for the Polk Healthcare Plan, what we would do is, depending on what their need is, we would refer them to one of our community partners, such as one of the 5 free clinics, or one of the health department clinics, or our federally qualified health center, where they can go and get that access. We also have dental clinics and mental health clinics. So depending on what their need is, we would give them the tools and the information and help them get that care. And we also have a series of diabetic classes and nutrition education classes that are free. You don't have to be a Polk Healthcare Plan member to access that. And we would give you information on the scheduling of those classes and where they're located all throughout the county.
And does this medical care, does that include preventative? They can go and get checkups?
Absolutely,
okay.
And that's why we like to schedule that first appointment for them before they leave, because that way we know that they're on the right track and that that appointment is already scheduled for them.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Commissioner, you look great.
Feel good.
Oh, feel good. And Joy, thank you so much for being on the program today, both of you.
Thank you.
To tell the intimate story of your health crisis and now how you've turned things around in your life. And it's great to see that, Commissioner.
It was my privilege to share my story, and hope someone gets some benefit of it.
Joy, again, thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for inviting me to be here. And I'll tell you, I was already inspired, and I've already got my physical scheduled, and I've already had my lab drawn this morning. So.
Great story. This is your host, Jim DeGennaro, thanking our viewers for joining us today and reminding you to tune in next month, where we'll have 2 commissioners talk to us about programs and policies that are important to the residents of Polk County. Until then, please take care and enjoy this beautiful place we call home.